Filmz TV præsenteres i samarbejde med Solid.
Out of here.
Hold on, Mr. Rushing out the door. You haven't had your breakfast yet.
No,
I know. Tick, tick, tick. Look, you've got time for Kellogg's Pop-Tarts. That's my boy. Now you're cooking. Look, strawberry, your favorite. Now, doesn't that hit the spot, kiddo?
Kellogg's Pop-Tarts. Real good, real fast.
Det er efterhånden 22 år siden, at denne lille dreng fik Pop-Tarts til at sælge som varmt brød. I dag er han 32 år gammel. Hans navn er selvfølgelig stadig Joseph Gordon-Levitt, og han har udviklet sig til en af sin generations mest karismatiske og dygtigste skuespillere. Efter en stribe reklamer og mindre tv-projekter, fik en dengang 15-årig Gordon-Levitt en fast rolle i komedieserien Mælkevejen første til højre, i rollen som den yngste af flere rumvæsener, der foregiver at være mennesker.
What is your problem?
I'm growing hair, and my armpits smell, and there's a constant circus in my pants.
På filmfronten fik Gordon-Levitt blandt andet tiden til at gå med den romantiske komedie 10 Things I Hate About You, men det var i den blændende og rystende Mysterious Skin fra 2004, at den dengang 23-årige amerikaner for alvor understregede sin enorme spændvidde som skuespiller, her med en fuldkommen kompromisløs præstation som en ung trækkerdreng med en traumatisk fortid. Allerede året efter brillerede Gordon-Levitt i Brick, en vidunderlig og vidunderligt original film noir-fortælling, der folder sig ud i et nutidigt high school-miljø.
If I get to the bottom of whatever this is,
What do you want?
just to see you sweat. And it gets too hot.
You got a discipline issue with me? Write me up or suspend me.
I see that you're trying to help her, and I don't know anybody who would do that for me.
You are dangerous.
Siden da har Gordon-Levitt lavet et væld af interessante projekter, blandt andet storfilmene Inception og The Dark Knight Rises sammen med Christopher Nolan, og senest også tidsrejsethrilleren Looper og Steven Spielbergs autentiske drama om Abraham Lincoln. Desuden var Gordon-Levitt for nylig gæsteredaktør på filmsiden IMDb, hvor han over en række dage skrev om sine egne favoritfilm. Men Gordon-Levitts måske bedste præstation til dato var i 500 Days of Summer fra 2009. Her spiller han en ung, rørstrømsk romantiker, der forelsker sig hovedkuls i en kvinde, der til gengæld ikke tror på, at kærligheden virkelig eksisterer. Det er en særdeles opfindsom romantisk komedie, der ikke blot afviger meget fra genrens kendte skabelon, men som også tryner den på både sjov og sofistikeret vis, ved gang på gang at understrege kløften mellem virkelighedens verden og Hollywoods konstruerede komedier. Skellet mellem virkelighed og fiktion er et tema, der går igen i Gordon-Levitts seneste film, Don John, som er biografpremiere i denne uge. Her spiller Gordon-Levitt en ung charlatan, der er fuldstændig besat af porno, og som derigennem har fået et helt forkvaklet syn på kærlighedens væsen.
Baby,
What are you doing?
I was just reading emails.
No, you weren't.
She caught me watching porn.
That's it?
Right? Oh!
How do you watch that?
How do you watch all the stupid movies that you watch?
Movies and porno are different, John. They give awards for movies.
They give awards for porn too.
Og Gordon-Levitt spiller ikke blot hovedrollen i Don John, han har også skrevet og instrueret filmen, og Filmz TV talte med multitalentet for nylig, da han gæstede København for at diskutere sin spilfilmsdebut som instruktør.
I noticed this interesting commonality between this movie and 500 Days of Summer. This notion that fiction really screws up how we look at the world. Mm-hmm. And of course it's slightly more extreme in Don John, but is it a notion that intrigues you?
Absolutely, and that is an apt comparison to 500 Days of Summer. In fact, I think that the character I play in Don John has a lot of similarities to the character I play in 500 Days of Summer. Even though they look very different and they talk very different and their styles are very different, they both, at the beginning of the story, are pretty selfish, and they're both kind of projecting their ideal fantasy of a woman onto their girlfriend rather than embracing who she is as an individual and really paying attention to that unique person in front of their face. And it's funny, man. I talk to a lot of people that say this about 500 Days of Summer. They're like, how could she have dumped him? She's so horrible, he's so great. And I don't think that's necessarily true, you know. The movie's told from his perspective, so you maybe sometimes think that he's so nice, but he's pretty selfish. He doesn't listen to anything she says. I understand why she dumped him. I like movies that balance the darkness and the light. You know, to me, that's what reminds me of real life. Movies that are too light just seem fluffy and sort of I don't know, kind of boring. At the same time, movies that are too dark, if they don't show any light, I also tend to get bored, me personally. So I like those movies like Punch Drunk Love or, I don't know, Harold and Maude, say, that really have that balance of darkness and light.
How'd you get my Facebook?
Oh, get right to it.
Yeah.
I just looked up your name.
I didn't tell you my name.
Well, obviously you did, because I looked it up.
No, I definitely did not tell you my name.
Yeah, you did.
I think I would remember that.
Well, no offense, but you were pretty wasted the other night. I mean,
Can I get you
so
guys
was
some
I.
drinks?
Yeah, Diet Coke, please.
Yeah, Coke.
Coke and a Diet Coke. I'll be right back to take your order.
All right, I had a few drinks the other night, so I may not have remembered telling you my first name, but I definitely did not tell you my last name.
I'm telling you.
Don't lie to me.
Hey.
Look, you don't know me, so I'm gonna let you off the hook this time, but trust me, in the future, you'll be much happier if you always tell me the truth.
Wait. I'll be happier?
Well, you don't think I could make you happy if I wanted to?
But one of the things that really amazed me also about Don John is this being your first feature film. I could really feel you had a really good grasp about the cinematic language as well. We were just talking about the music, and I really love how the songs are used in the movie, also in the specific scenes when you're looking at porn and the dance sequences and all this. Which also reminds me of 500 Days of Summer, because that's a movie that has such an effective soundtrack.
You're right.
And also, it doesn't just accompany the pictures, it really, it complements them in a great way in the storytelling. How much was the music a factor for you, and how much did you think about that?
Yeah, huge. That was one of my favorite parts of directing a movie, is getting to be really involved in making the music, because as an actor you're uninvolved. And you're right, in 500 Days of Summer, Mark Webb, that filmmaker, he killed it with the music, and I think, partially because he's made so many music videos leading up to 500 Days of Summer. I wasn't a professional music video director, but I did make a lot of videos and a lot of kind of musically oriented videos just on my own time in the years leading up to shooting Don John. And even while I was writing the script, I was already thinking about what we could do with the music. And I had an idea that's sort of unconventional, where there's sort of 3 acts to the story as the character progresses, and I wanted to have 3 different musical palettes. So there's in Act 1 you have these sort of bright, shiny synthesizer sounds, and in Act 2 you have a more traditional, lush orchestra, and then in Act 3 you have a more sparse, kind of just a few guitars. And the melodies actually run through. There's melodic themes that get played in all 3 musical palettes. And working with Nathan Johnson, the composer for Don John, who also composed the music for Looper and for Brick, and we had done several short films together, and coming to him with this sort of unconventional idea, I think it was a big help that we were already friends, because a composer that I had just met might have said, oh geez, I don't know, that sounds risky and weird. But I think Nathan was able to pull it off in like gangbusters in a way that's really seamless, where it doesn't feel, incongruent. We had a blast doing it.
I loved your stint as guest editor on IMDb. You have great taste in movies, man.
Oh, thanks.
Of course, there are a lot of Coen movies on there, and Woody Allen also. I love the fact that Barton Fink is one of your favorites.
Yes.
I hope you had a slightly easier time writing your movie than he did.
Well, I didn't end up murdering anybody, so in that way it was easier, yes.
But what sparked your interest in directing originally? Has it always been there from the start?
Yeah, I guess I just love movies like you do, and all the different facets that go into making movies. And I also love acting, and I love watching actors, but when you're watching a movie, you're watching an actor's performance, a lot more is going into that performance than just what the actor is doing. Where the camera is, or how they cut from one shot to the next, or what the music is doing while the actor is performing, all really inform that performance. And so I wanted the opportunity to play with all of those tools. And I had this story in my head, and I felt like if I was going to tell the story, I had to direct it.
Husk, at Don John har biografpremiere i denne uge, og den charmerende, vellavede komedie er bestemt værd at se. Og hvis man er Gordon-Levitt-fan, er det samtidig en god idé at tjekke skuespillerens favoritfilmlister ud inde på IMDb, hvor han som sagt var gæsteredaktør for få uger siden. Det var alt for denne gang på Filmz TV, men vi er tilbage igen allerede med et par dage med eksklusive Gravity-interviews med instruktøren Alfonso Cuarón og selveste Sandra Bullock. På gensyn. Husk, at du kan finde alle vores tidligere Filmz TV-udsendelser på Filmz under Filmz TV-fanebladet, og også på videovideo.dk, i iTunes og via vores gratis video-app.